How
He's
are
the
you, my
one.
brother?
Hey, I'm good, man. Thanks for coming out tonight, man. How are you?
All right, we're keeping it real. We're keeping it real. We're keeping
Hey,
it fun.
best way to do it, man. Best way to do it. So, for those who don't know, my man SoHo Johnny, philanthropist, promoter, and you really doing major things out here, man. Major entertainer. You do a lot of events. You're doing some events for goodwill, for bullying, for COVID patients, and victims of COVID-19, and you got a lot going on. So, first thing first, before we get to what's popping right now, let's talk about you and where you from. Let's get the history on
Well, let's get the backup. Well, I call myself the accidental tourist of my life.
you.
I did. It's not like I set out to be where I am today. It kind of was an organic growth. But
Right.
I was born in the big city in the Big Apple in Manhattan,
Okay.
and my parents lived in an apartment in Stuyvesant Town, Peter Cooper Village. It's a big MetLife built this big complex. They built another one, like a mirror image of it in Parkchester in the Bronx. And
Okay.
so we lived there for a while, and I was a nervous kid as a child. I used to stutter, and but I was always a practical joker in grammar school.
Right.
I used to get in trouble all the time, but I always used to, I used to bring these things into school, whatever. So eventually, like a few years, then my parents moved to Parkchester, the apartment, the other MetLife complex in the Boogie Down Bronx, which was where
Right.
my mom's family was from. And I still had that thing within me. Now, you got to understand the Boogie Down Bronx back in those days was, they had gangs on the street and everything.
Right.
And they're talking the 60s and the 70s. So I
Right.
was like, I had that duality. I was the honor student in school because I had to make my father proud of me. But then I was wearing colors at night because I didn't want to get beat up, right?
Right. Right.
Not
You
that I
gotta
was a
blend.
tough guy. No,
You
I
gotta
was a
blend.
tough guy, not by any measure of imagination. What happened is my parents eventually bought a house in the Bronx, and there was a garage in the back.
Mhm.
And because I was somewhat popular
Right.
or infamous, as you would call it, my friends was
Right.
my friends and other kids from the school, and then the other schools, whatever, they would just come to that garage, just slowly start coming to, because I would have music, and I would
Right.
have a black light, I would have a strobe light, and I was playing rock music, which is now our classic rock music at the time.
Right.
And I just kind of loved it, and that seed was in me. I get it from my mom. I get my entertainment seed, I think, from my mom, my late mom, which we'll talk about a little bit.
Hmm.
But then fast forward, I started doing some, class disco came in. I did some DJing, and I did some family reunions, and I
Hmm.
hop, skipped, and jumped along the way. Now, my family for four generations had come to the country, and they started their business and everything, and we're still there to this day in the SoHo area of Manhattan, in that
Okay.
historic district. So over the years, I got this nickname called SoHo Johnny, which
Right.
is kind of how I ended up naming my entertainment platform. But picking up where I left off, so I started doing these gigs or whatever, but not really big time, whatever.
Right.
And I just started getting entertainers, and I would do shows. And I said, you know what? I was doing it for fun. Maybe I just charge some money. I lost my dad like over 26 years ago to cancer, and
Mm.
many different members of my family we lost to cancer,
Right.
and that kind of kicked my butt a little bit. And I said,
Oh yeah.
let me see if I could just tie something. And so I kicked it up a couple of notches, and I started producing shows,
Right.
and I brought in more well-known celebrity talent in, and I started raising money, and I teamed up with the American Cancer Society.
Okay.
And that experience, like from then on, kind of like changed my life in a sense
Right.
because, listen, I was having a great time. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I was doing things I love. It's music, and everything. But, the love that I've gotten and the people that I met through philanthropic endeavors like that,
Hmm.
and just tying it to music and entertainment, because I always had, like any great entertainer, and I'm not saying I'm great, this is not about me,
No,
but
you the
I'm just
man.
trying to explain the process, right?
You the
The
man,
pro
Johnny. No?
I just want to tell you the process is that, when you're on stage, I'm like entertainer, I entertain myself.
Right.
I sing, I dance, and I do it at my own shows. And you have that connection with the audience. It's
Right.
an umbilical cord of love and an adoration or whatever to see people smile and know that you're the cause of giving them joy. and
Right.
getting them away from their lives just for a little period of time. Now
Right.
you tie that with something that people are getting together for a good cause, they're having a good time. Music is the tie that binds, I say, and that you're raising money for charity or something to help people less fortunate than ourselves. I
Right.
think that's the trifecta, you know, and that's
Oh, for
kind of
sure.
what I started doing more and more over the years.
Right.
You know, I'm recording some of my own material. I now have the SoHoJohnny.com. I represent just a few select artists, and I just kind of started an entertainment platform. Now, my four generations, my family in Soho, they came here with nothing. My
Mm-hmm.
father, they had my father's generation had a trucking business, and then we got involved in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And through PEP Real Estate, that's P as in Peter, E as in Edward, P as in Peter. I say it because I think it's PET. PepRealEstate.com. I have a real estate company.
Right.
Through my family, got me started and everything. And that's really what I am, a real estate guy behind a desk. Nothing
Right.
special. But then I started doing events and helping retailers and finding locations for pop-ups. And of course, just commercial, not residential.
Right.
So that kind of tied into everything as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then super fast forward, you know, my last, I guess, really great time or show, whatever, before COVID was last year,
Mm-hmm.
that I got a lot of notoriety doing. And again, this is not me, it's all the people around me that helped me to do this. We'll get into
Right.
some of the names shortly. I mean, we had such a great time. I did an all-day festival. Okay, we
Right.
produced an all-day festival tied to the American Cancer Society.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an afternoon. We did it in a circus tent, Tuna. And
Okay.
the evening was in a grand ballroom, right?
Right.
And it was August in New York, in Stamford, Connecticut. So it was a warm day. It was beautiful, and it was based on mostly classic disco on genre, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay. Some throwback vibes.
yeah. So we had, I was blessed. We had Deney Terrio. He used to have a show called Dance Fever that we all know. Great guy, helped co-host it with me. You know, he taught John Travolta how to dance in Saturday Night Fever, for
Right.
real. We had these disco bands, Tavares, Harold Melvins, Blue Notes, Double Exposure, Instant Funk, Planet Patrol, Arnold Carmichael, who did Jack and Jill. We
Right.
had Sharon Brown, Fonda Ray. I had Terry DeSario, you know,
Right.
all these, and they all have these different songs and so many, they've contributed so much for that genre of music. And a lot of them still doing it, but
Oh
this
yeah.
is the classic disco.
Right.
We had, he wasn't really classic disco, but fantastic voice. He helped us. Constantine Maroulis from Rock of Ages, he
Okay.
came as well. And
Right.
I kind of had I call him disco royalty. I love the man. I call him my Mr. Magnificent, Monty Rock III. He
Okay.
was the DJ on Saturday Night Fever on the movie, and he did that song probably towards the beginning of disco. He's a
Right.
senior
Right.
statesman called Get Dancing. Oh, my wig is wet, my chiffon is wet. There's many of the audience right now who know what I'm talking about, you know. But the thing is, we pulled it off. A lot of work goes into it, and everybody had a great time. We raised some good money, and you
Right.
know, it's just that good spirit. They're just that secret sauce, like McDonald's, and just having that together. You know,
Right.
goodwill and outreach, and just getting it together. So, of course, fast forward now to this year, okay, which was a troublesome year for many of us, as we know.
Right.
And I had lost my mom earlier this year.
Mm.
I was blessed. She was 93 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? I lost her to COVID. So like many people that have suffering from COVID either from health-wise or lost somebody,
Right.
or economically affected, which is terrible what's going on. We all know that.
Right.
I lost my mom, so I kind of identified here. It's like personal, just like this to all these other people.
Right.
And I couldn't see her. I was blessed she was 93. But, you know, I couldn't see her towards the end, which is really what makes it really tough when you're dealing with a pandemic. None of us
Right.
lived through this. I didn't know what a pandemic, I heard what an epidemic. I didn't know
Right.
what a pandemic was.
Right.
But, you know, and just like, you know, when I lost my father from cancer years ago, I kind of got on that cancer kick, you know, to try to tie it in with everything, American Cancer Society. I said, let me try and do something for COVID.
Right.
And I had founded a foundation called Let Me Help Inc., inc.org. That's the website. It's actually Let Me Help, Inc.
Okay.
And I had it on the shelf. I was going to do something with it. And I says, well, if there's any of the time to do something, now's the time. So
Right.
because before I would raise money, but not as a foundation. I would just raise money and just give a check, right?
Right.
That we would all raise at the concert.
Right.
But let me help. I launched it, and through so many people around me and friends and everything, like my mentor, John Valesco, Eileen Shapiro, Jimmy Page, you know, a lot of these people, they're wonderful, you
Right.
know, and so many, and the artist between all of us, and my co-producer, my buddy and talented artist himself, Andrew Cole,
Okay.
okay, for hashtag I am no joke, an anti-bullying mandate, okay?
Right.
So the foundation, unlike a charity that maybe, I mean, I didn't know this not until too long ago, and I'll say this for the public. You know, the difference between a foundation and a charity is pigeonholed to do one purpose. American Cancer Society, just cancer for what they do. Muscular dystrophy, just for that.
Right.
A foundation, you could raise money and it could give to different charities. And it could be more than one. So for somehow, some way, organically, we have 3 different mandates here for a concert that's coming up in about a week, which we're going to talk about in a minute.
Right.
It's Meals on Wheels, which brings food to sick people, COVID related.
Right.
Prostate cancer and anti-bullying, headed up by my co-producer Andrew Cole. Hashtag I am no joke. It's tied to the Creative Visions Foundation, another great foundation. So we have probably over 65 artists from all over the world that have volunteered. Either their representative said we could use some footage, or they just gave a personal tribute, or they did a song, whatever they are. And organically how this happened through all of us just banding together, it's actually amazing. I mean, I don't even know what the final product is myself, because we still have people coming on at the last minute.
Right.
But we're doing a free virtual. It has to be virtual, Tuna, right?
Yeah.
We've got to be real here, unfortunately. Of course, we would love something like this to be. I don't even know how we would do it for artists all over the world. It'd be really that would be something.
Yeah.
But we got people from all over the world, or their representatives, or their estates, you know, whatever.
Right.
And we're airing this on November 24th. Purposely, that's 2 nights before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Because we purposely wanted to tie it to, you know, that time, because it's like a time of thanks. Right. I know this tough, things are tough for a lot of people out there. But, you know, my philosophy, and it's on SoHoJohnny.com, my entertainment platform, is that, you know, there's always somebody less fortunate than us.
Oh, for sure.
You know, no matter what we have, what we don't have, and I make light of nobody else's suffering. But, you know, there's usually someone less. So we have to keep that frame of mind, and tomorrow know that, you know, I still have blessings.
Right.
I still have blessings. Right. And, you know, we have a mandate for outreach to put people in a better frame of mind. And that's really kind of the spirit of this whole thing. So November 24th, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's a 6-hour show. Originally, it was 4 hours. People say, John, what are you doing? It's just too long. We had artists coming in at the last minute. Some of these are my friends. I said, okay, I want to come on.
Got to get them on.
It's a great thing you're doing, you know. And
I
said, okay, fine. So we made it a 6-hour show. It's New York time. That's Eastern Standard Time. Let me repeat that. 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. November 24th.
Right. 2
days before Thanksgiving, Eastern Standard Time, New York time, because this is a worldwide mandate.
Right.
People and the followers of these artists they're going to be chiming in from all over the place, and it's amazing. So I want to emphasize that. So next question is, it's going to be aired. I should say streamed on iConcert.tv.
Okay.
iConcert, letter I, concert, CONCERT.TV. On November 24th at 7 p.m. New York time. So, who is going to be on the show? And that's the magic question that I guess I should mention here a little bit. Let me see, because I get my brain farts here. So,
oh, good. Take your time. Take your time.
let me see, because I can't remember everybody, and I don't want to do anybody an injustice here. But all I can say is that we're blessed. Okay, and this day, people are part of it, or footage, whatever the case may be. So here we go. Sir Patrick Stewart, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne, C.C. Peniston, Henry Rollins, Jeff Goldblum, John Lodge from the Moody Blues, Jasmine Carrot, Kim Sledge from Sister Sledge, Susie Quattro, the immediate family, Scott, my buddy Scott Page, another great friend and philanthropist from Pink Floyd,
Right.
and Toto and Supertramp, Kenny Lee Lewis, Natalie Shea, Julian Lennon, Cedric the Entertainer, my friend and my other mentor, Fred Schneider from the B-52s, Leon and the Peoples, Will Cretson, Kenny Olson, my friend. We know him from Kid Rock, and he's with Think EXP with Scott Page. Sadie Katz, Martha Davis, Ken Knox, Verdine White, Kenny Aronoff, Laureen Landon. 10 years after, remember, everybody remembers them. They're still kicking butt out there.
Right.
Stephen Perkins from Jane Addiction, Bonfire, and of course Andrew Cole in his own right is an entertainer, as well as being my co-producer. Sha-Na-Na, Rick Wakeman, boy, do I remember his masterpiece of an album with the orchestra back in the day called Journey to the Center of the Earth. I love him, and he's so entertaining. He did something very special. Right. Sarah Shaw, Leland Sklar, John Robb, Howard Bloom, which I believe you just had him on, and he's he's an inspiration. He's an icon, and he is a wonderful man, and his career is outstanding.
Right.
Much kudos for Howard Bloom.
Definitely.
Let's see. I lost my space here. C.C. Penn. Let's see. Okay. Martha Davis, C.C. Peniston, Revolution, David Martinez, Fred Abatelli, Laurie Diamond, Brian Sebastian, Ken Knox, Mark Dualis, Billy Hess, my friend Nate Sounds, Ike Cavalli, Think EXP Band, I already mentioned him, Rose Wakely, Rachel London, Mickey Burns, who has a wonderful talk show, another one of my mentors. I love him. Tim Moss, Sherry Nelson, my friend Sherry, Jimmy Starr and Ron Russell, of course, they have a wonderful show, and they're part of not my team, they're just part of my supporters that have helped me create this show.
Right.
I love them. Screaming Rachel, Rocky Kramer, Tom Claxton, Slash, Lemmy, of course, Lemmy, the late Lemmy, Chad Smith, Nick Simmons, Andrew WK, and I believe we have Charlie Sheen.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I mean, it kind of like, through different sources or whatever, it just kind of came together. And here we go again, as this old song says, And, it's funny. I love the music, and I'm fans of so many of these artists, like so many of us out there. But if everybody just gave just a little bit, if they're fans of these artists, because they're just allowing or giving of some of their time for the show.
Right.
I mean, isn't that wonderful?
It is,
this
man.
This is the time that we need it, right, Tuna?
It is. I was going to ask you, how can I help? How can I be a part of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something major. I think everybody should, and it's timely. It's perfect time to do that. And yeah, I'm all for it. I'm supporting it all.
Well, we would love to have you. We would have, and listen, let me say something too. I want to give a shout out to you, because guess what? You are also a light in the tunnel. During this dark tunnel for everything, you're keeping the light on and entertainment, because it's very simple. Just a smile, entertainment, people who tune in, just to get them a little bit out of what's going on,
Right.
I tell people, I say, listen, it's tough. Listen, I put on some weight myself. You got to stay on the structure.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of us have to stay home because second wave, COVID, all this stuff, all this jazz that's going on. You look at the TV, there's diversity, the election, all this stuff.
Right.
Music and entertainment is no politics.
Right.
There's no diversity. If anything, it's a commonality.
Right.
It brings us together for a common cause.
For sure.
This is a celebration of life.
Okay? Right.
Every day is a blessing and a gift. It's on my website, SoHoJohnny.com. I think I say I don't know if I said this earlier, because I just was on something else, that the language of love is conducted through the expression of music, or something. It's on my website, and I come up with these things. But again, it's truly not about me. I mean, I can't help myself. I get animated because I'm having a great time with these shows.
Right.
I'm recording some of my own music. We'll be releasing some of it soon. We just released a song, I Promise You, with Star Hansen, to Tribeca Tunes. And we're just having a great time. I mean, a lot of other things that are happening in our camp now, Tuna. I guess We did a joint venture recently with a buddy of mine, another great guy, Maurice Hamilton, with the SMC Group.
Okay.
And basically what we do is we take artists that, you know, they're not here, but they're
Right.
here, they're climbing, and it's just very, very select few. And then
Mhm.
we try to tie them and connect them to a multinational corporation to try to
Right.
be like a poster child or
Right.
do a
Right.
commercial and stuff
Right.
like that. So we just got that. We got that working, got a few projects working.
That's major.
And yeah, I mean, so a lot of this, you know, some acting roles, a lot have come my way, and it's really been a lot of fun. We've got another series that we're going to be shooting soon. Of course, things all slow with COVID,
Mhm.
where I think looks like I'll be hosting yours
Oh yeah.
truly, called
Okay. Okay.
SoHo at Night. Okay, I'll
Okay. I
mention
like
it
that. I
here.
like that.
It's going to be coming out, and we'll be at a Soho loft or maybe some mansion or something. We'll be walking into different doors, and we're going to have different entertainers there. That's going to be a
Okay.
trip.
Oh
So I'm
yeah.
looking forward to that. It's going to be a
Let
lot of
me
fun.
know. Let me know. I need the date. I need the date and time.
Yeah, that's coming out sometime soon, which is everything's delayed because of COVID.
Right.
We've got something else going on that's a philanthropic thing, because everybody knows the Broadway district in New York City is closed now. It's dark, right? What a shame.
Mhm.
It looks like it's going to remain that way for this next wave until we figure things out and the vaccine gets established, which is
Right.
probably, you know, next spring or next summer in the Northeast. But we've got something that we're in talks, and I can tell you it's something Broadway Cares is something we're probably going to be called, and it's just to bring a lot of something similar, but a lot of these performers in the theater are going to come out to do a show,
Right.
and we're going to raise money because there's cutbacks on education for the theatrical arts, I think, in New York City. So we're going to raise money for the children and for that mandate too. So
Wow. Wow.
that's
Wow.
in the works now.
Good.
Hopefully that's going to be tied off. So,
Right.
you know, listen, it's a lot of fun, Tuna. You know, and you know, it's a ride.
It's a journey, man. It's nothing wrong with the
It's a
journey, man.
journey. You know, and I tell people, you know, we need to remember that we're role models to each other, like I said earlier. You
Right.
know, and we need to remember that you got to remember to drive the bus of your life. Many
Right.
people spend a good portion of their life and they're a passenger. Let me
Right.
see where this takes me. Well, I'm just going to be a follower. Now, it's okay to follow certain customs because we have a structure, we have law and order. It's important. That's how we survive as a society.
Right.
But, you know, independently think about what you're going to do with your life.
Right.
You know, what your career is, what your nobility is, what your ethics are,
Mhm.
and, you know, try to conduct yourself in a fashion where you're going to be a good brother or sister or just whatever. You know, be successful, whatever you're going to do. If you're entertainment, you know,
Mhm.
but remember, the things that I'm talking about now, you know, I don't get into religion on my platform, okay?
Right.
But, you know, I call it a mandate for humanity because it's common sense ethics of humanity that I'm talking about, even if people don't believe, even if they're atheists, okay?
Right.
Because this is the time for outreach. This is the time that we need more than ever. It's always a time for that. But
Right.
this is the time more than ever. So that's why I kind of like, you know, lit the candle here in my own respect.
Mhm.
And I brought that foundation forward. And here we go. This is going to be some ride. November,
Oh, yeah.
a week away, next Tuesday
Right.
at 7 p.m. on iConcert.tv. So we're having it's going to be very, very interesting. Again, please let me help inc.org for everyone out there. Please find it in your heart.
Right.
Again, Meals on Wheels.
Mhm.
Okay, they deliver food for 6 people, COVID,
Right.
and
And
prostate cancer.
for the and Mills on Wheels, not to cut you off, just because I know from my own experience with them, they've been around and working and helping out with the elderly community. They've been helping out in the impoverished community. So it's like these things have been working. It's just like now we have to help them work hard because now they're pumping it out. They got overtime. Everyone else is laid off,
Excellent point.
but they're working twice as much now. So we definitely gotta show them some love and help them out whenever we can.
Absolutely. It's like that squeaky wheel needs the grease now. You know,
Right, right.
everybody has limited resources now in these trying times.
Hmm.
So again, these are good mandates to focus on. So we just kind of
Right,
put this show, and hopefully, you know, if the followers of these artists just go find it in their heart to help or just to donate, it doesn't matter. Whatever you have is appreciated. We're going to have auctions of different memorabilia from the artist. I just
wow.
I just got a text here from my friend Arpine. I believe she's David Yurman's niece. They're going to
Okay.
contribute something for David Yurman jewelry line. Wonderful, beautiful pieces. What a creative, talented guy he is in his own right for the jewelry and what he creates. We have different things. I mean, I have a buddy, Nino, and what we're putting together, you're going to get a kick, and the audience will get a kick out of this because the dashboard always lights up. I was on my friend VG's show. She's a DJ in Chicago, and after I said this, it just all her dashboard lit up. So I have a friend Nino that I know most of my life, and he really is a good-hearted soul. He always has a smile on his face.
Right.
And, you know, the world could be falling down, and he's just like taking it in stride, smiling, and just so uplifting. He's got a moral compass. He's good, ethical. And guess what? He's single now again. Okay?
Right.
So what are we doing? Okay? So what did I come up with in my crazy mind over here? I says, you know what? Why don't we raise some money and auction off a date with Nino?
Hey, there you go.
Well, let me help.
Right.
Hey.org. He's a good-looking guy. He's a down-to-earth. Together, we approached what is probably reputed the most romantic city in New York City, a romantic restaurant in New York City.
Right.
Called One If by Land, Two If by Sea. And this isn't going to, the actual date's not going to happen to May 1st of next year. We've got some time.
Okay.
And we're going to auction off, and they're going to have a wonderful dinner there. They're going to have a Rolls-Royce driven car to take them after dinner to a Soho Loft.
Okay.
Soho Loft, obviously, that's kind of
going
to be one of our Soho Lofts that's in-house. And we're going to have some surprise celebrity entertainers serenade them after in that loft.
Wow.
White tablecloth, maybe an after dinner drink or whatever, and just chill out a little bit. So whoever the lucky winner is, we just guarantee it's going to be a great time. You know, a lot of fun.
Well, look, I know Dino's one person, and I know there's going to be at least one or two runners-up. So, you know, runners-up, you know, big fish is here. You know what I'm saying? Let them know.
Listen, we got that covered. Listen, a lot of people say, you know, maybe that'll just be a takeoff just to continue something like that or bring something. We'll see. Listen, the bottom line, everybody has to have a good time.
Right.
You know, it's simple pleasure, simple fun. We'll make sure everything is safe. Okay. Hopefully May is going to be a lot better time with COVID.
For sure.
But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. And we're looking forward. I mean, the silver lining in this pandemic cloud is that people I'm seeing are now not taking life for granted.
Right. That's for sure. That's
you know, I mean, before, and even myself, and not, I don't mean that people took life for granted in a selfish way. I don't mean that at all. But even myself, we become complacent in just our structure of life. You go to the supermarket, you buy toilet tissue, you buy this and that, or, you know, you can see somebody, you can go visit somebody, whatever. We didn't expect this to happen, but guess what? We appreciate the fact that we are here for a short period of time. It's a lease, and that we've got to make the best of it. We've got to be there for each other, and that is a good thing. Listen, we didn't want the pandemic to happen, but there always seems to be something good. You didn't want it to happen. You wouldn't want it to happen at all. But if it's something that's beyond our control, which it was, it just happened, that you look for the best, and this is the best. You know, I call it, that's why I was calling what we're doing on November 24th, our mandate for humanity, okay? Because, you know, it's all about outreach, and it's all about what we have inside for each other, because that is what will elevate us towards the end of our lives. When we look back on our lives, which, you know, it's not about money. Money's important, business is important because it's a structure. It's our way, that's our way of life, okay? If you want to buy bread in the supermarket. But what's going to elevate it as the end is what the people that really loved you and that you touched and went back and forth, because that's what's going to be on your mind. I guarantee that. And so, you know, I'm just very, very blessed to be part of all this, and it's very exciting for me. And I want to thank you for having me on the show.
Hey man, I gotta thank you, man. I appreciate, you know, being able to connect with you and people like you, because you're actually doing something bigger than yourself. And when people are doing things for others, you know what I'm saying? I'm really, that's what really took me off and got me to where I was in my career. So I was never really, I can make money doing anything. I can work at a supermarket. I can get a job. I go to school. I can do a lot of things to make money. But I always wanted to do something where it's like, can we make an authentic connection and really build something that's worth something? You know what I mean? Before we get to how much money we're going to make, can we build something that's worth something? And you got to be able to give back. You got to be able to connect people. Music was my outlet. You know what I mean? That's what made me get out and really connect with the people. So that was my first love, being an artist and writing songs and writing poetry, different things like that. But I say that to say that you're doing exactly what the world needs right now. You're giving back, you're entertaining, you're giving them a break from the harsh reality that we're going through. And I definitely appreciate you for coming out tonight, giving us some time. We supporting the 24th, and it's going to be a great night. You said 6 hours of entertainment.
6 hours of entertainment, and what you just talked about music.
Mm-hmm.
Music is like a time machine, isn't it? Isn't it
Right.
wonderful?
Right.
If a song comes on that you were really that you love, that you haven't heard for a while, it could have been 25 years ago, whatever, however, what age. For that one moment you're listening to that song, I know for me, I'm back in that
right.
car in Ferry Point Park in the Bronx having my first kiss, and I get that feeling back from that one song. And
right.
that feeling is what makes us feel alive, and that's the beauty of music. It's a companion that follows us and keeps us along. It's the lubricant of life in a positive way, and you're dead on what you just said there. So again, as you were saying, November 24th, iConcert.tv,
right,
7 p.m. to 1 a.m. to everybody out there. Tune in. Let Me Help Inc. inc.org. Please donate there on the website. Of course, it will be on iConcert during the show. And that's Eastern Standard Time, New York time, 7 p.m. Starting 6-hour show, November 24th. Please sign up for our mailing list, SoHo Johnny, SoHoJohnny.com, SoHoJohnny.com.
Right.
That's the first people that get alerts of all the. I can't remember, so many things are happening right now. It's like a maelstrom around me. But a lot of exciting things, and we always promise to deliver, because hey, listen, we're having a great time. We want to share.
Right.
We want to share that. And this is the time. Social distancing is not social isolation. It's the opposite right now.
Right.
We need outreach, even though you may not be able to hug somebody, because I'm come from a warm family. You meet my cousins or meet old friends. Usually a hug. Hey, how are you? Right. Can't do that right now, but you could pick up the phone and speak to somebody, an old friend or somebody, or maybe a neighbor that you think is going through trying times.
Definitely.
That simple little thing, one little ripple in the ocean could create a tidal wave.
Change the world. One phone call, one smile, one hello, one good vibe can change a lot in someone's life. So I definitely appreciate that, man. And on that note, SoHo Johnny, appreciate you coming out for a while to an exclusive. We'll definitely be having you back on the show. We'll definitely be having you back. We're going to be tuning in on the 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Shout out to everyone that's a part of the movement that you got going on. Make sure everyone visits SoHoJohnny.com. And man, listen, let me know those runners up. Let Dino, tell Dino I got the runners up. Okay.
We're gonna get that. We're gonna cover that. We're gonna cover all that.
That's a bet, man.
And thank you, Tuna.
Thank
you for everything that you're doing to keep the light on. And please thank you humbly for having me on the show and get this message out.
Anytime, man. Anytime. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night. My man, SoHo Johnny. Y'all know what it is, man. Yeah.